NBA's in-season tournament group play has wrapped up now. And one thing that's been really interesting to me about the group play, shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks, went 4-0 in group play, won Group B in the East, number 1 seed in the East. Some players have been complaining about the whole point differential aspect of the in-season tournament. As you know, one of the unwritten rules in the NBA is, when you up big, games out of reach, you don't score. You just kind of let the clock dribble out, and if you don't do that, tempers tend to flare. But with this in-season tournament, point differential is one of the tiebreakers here. So teams are encouraged to run it right on up. And some guys have had a problem with that. DeMar DeRozan actually got ejected at the end of the Bulls-Raptors game because he was so upset that they were still scoring.
Play defense, my guy.
He got mad. He got ejected. And then you would hear from like Josh Hart, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They all had various comments about how they feel like running up the score messes with the integrity of the game. Like, you got to respect your opponent, so on and so forth, which was so fascinating because then Boston turned right on around and played Hack-a-Drummond when they was up like 29 going into the fourth quarter. And it's like, I know y'all talking point differential, but did y'all point differential have to be even that large? Like, y'all sitting here doing some extreme things, and you got the coaches apologizing on the sidelines to one another. Like, I was just like watching, like, wow. You then have the Warriors-Kings game, which was cracking. Heading into the game, the Warriors had to win by 12 or more for them to advance to the knockout rounds of the NBA Cup tournament. Meanwhile, the Kings had to just not lose by more than 12 or win the game. And the Warriors were up big. Like, they were up by 24, and they ended up blowing that lead and losing the game. Like, it felt like playoff intensity in the fourth quarter of this random game in November. And I was like, this is exactly why the NBA looked to do what it did with this tournament. And I can't wait as this coming week comes up where we have the knockout rounds and the home teams market, and then we move to Vegas. So the Bucks have the Knicks on Tuesday. I hope they win because I really want to see the Bucks in Vegas. Like, that will be fun. But I say this, I want to just quickly say about the point differential thing. Get over it. All right. It's about getting buckets. I understand, respect, so on and so forth. And y'all can do that every other game. But when them courts are wild and they solid colors and y'all wearing them different jerseys, go and get some buckets. And if you got a problem with on the other side, stop them from scoring said buckets.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's because like it's so ingrained. Like, it's an adjustment period for the players, which let me back up. I totally agree with you. I think that where it's coming from is because it's so ingrained that, you up big, you kind of take your foot off the gas, you don't embarrass people because it's a brotherhood, it's the NBA, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's funny that DeMar DeRozan was the one that got ejected because Jeff Teague told the story about, like, when Lance went and scored the layup at the end of the game and PJ Tucker and DeMar DeRozan got real mad and were ready to fight. And it's like, I get it. Like, nobody wants to be embarrassed. So it's kind of like a mutual kind of like, hey, we waved the white flag. It's over. We done. Like, you don't, let us breathe or whatever. But it's like, that can still be the rule. The other, 78 games of the season or whatever it is. Like, to your point, when it's in-season tournament time, like, hey, we try to score as much as possible. We try to limit y'all from scoring as much as possible so we can advance. And it's because, again, like, when you have group play, like, there are only so many tiebreakers that you can really use. So the first one is head-to-head. Second one is then the point differential, like, because you only play 4 other teams. So it's only so many ways that you can differentiate between, differentiate ties. So I get it. But also, it's a new thing, it's different. And I thought that they kind of like bitch-proofed the rules, but like they still found a way to bitch about it. So, whatever. Like, it's been an overwhelming success for me. So, like, if this is the only criticism that people have for it, so be it. It's fine. They'll get over it.
Definitely feel the same way about that. Definitely feel the same. And one thing that's really cool about the tournament as well is just the fact that the teams that are in it, like it's going like. Of course, I'm sure the NBA was hoping that the Warriors could get in there, but the teams that got in there is going to present a really interesting viewing experience for some folks because like Pacers are in here and it's kind of like how many people expected to be watching Pacers, on the big screen or whatever the case may be. So the matchups in the East, you have the Bucks and the Knicks, like I mentioned, and then you have the Pacers and the Celtics.
Ooh, that might be a good game.
It's going to be a great, yeah. And then the West quarterfinals, you have the Lakers and the Suns, and then the Kings and the Pelicans.
That should be fun.
Kings Pelicans are going to score a ton of points.
Oh, of course. Of course.
That's why the Indiana Boston game should be interesting. You got one like the highest scoring team in the league versus the best defense in the league right now.
Up there, it's been between them and Orlando all season. Yeah, man. Like I think we get some good matchups. Hopefully the Bucks don't overlook their opponents. Trying to get back to avenge one of their two losses, or looking to avenge two losses that they have with one of the opponents. You get what I'm trying to say. They've lost to both the Pacers and the Celtics, so I can see them being like, "Oh yeah, we don't get them," and it's like, don't overlook the Knicks because you barely escaped that one. But if we're doing predictions, I predicted the Bucks and the Suns as the NBA Finals. So if they meet in the finals of the in-season tournament, I'm taking that as a win. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, this would be the time that we can catch the Bucks and the Lakers.
Right. I'm also rooting for that too.
Hey, I'm gonna see if I can actually pull up the chart for those who are on YouTube, just so we can do a quick prediction on like who's gonna actually make it to the championship round here for the in-season tournament. Go ahead.
I can easily see like LeBron making it his personal mission to be like, I'm gonna be the first one.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be us, and like it kind of legitimizes it too. Like not that any other team winning it doesn't, but it's like, oh man, like LeBron did it, so like now in subsequent years, people are gonna try to do it, and that might be like the trophy that finally gets named after LeBron, like the in-season tournament MVP or some shit. So
not if the Bucks have anything to do with it. But no, here goes. So here's the bracket itself for the upcoming in-season tournament. I mentioned the matchups already, so let's start in the West. Lakers, Suns, who y'all got?
I'll take the Lakers.
Despite what I just said, the Suns. Suns are playing really good right now. Like really good.
No,
like ever since Booker got back.
I'm gonna go with the Suns as well. I gotta shout out headband point guard Devin Booker has been out here hooping. So I'm gonna go with the Suns on that one. Lakers just got embarrassed. I don't know what's going on with them right now. Ken's not here for me to ask insight. Sacramento and New Orleans, who y'all got?
The Kings.
Yeah, let me get the Bing.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and get them Pelicans. Let me go ahead and go New Orleans. I'm gonna be against the grain here. Milwaukee and New York.
Bucks and 1.
That's the only one they got.
Right.
It's a clean sweep, I'm assuming. Pacers and Celtics.
I'm gonna go with Indiana.
I'm not mad at that. I'm gonna go with Boston because I just want the matchup. What's cool about the in-season tournament too, to some, maybe not to others, is you're gonna see some people gonna get the same team 5 times in the year now because they're playing these extra matchups against each other. So like we're gonna see the Knicks 5 times this year.
And if they win, then they'll see the winner of the other game
5 times.
5 times because they play each other up. I can't talk, but they play each other teams 4 times as well.
They'll match up in the playoffs. Oh, good lord! Oh,
man,
I hate to see this, bro. I'm like, bro, I'm tired of seeing these cats.
That's the thing with this tournament too, because what creates rivalries when you're seeing the same teams over and over and over again. So one of those things. Like I think this can also be good come playoff time if the same teams have to keep bumping heads with each other.
Yeah,
That's fair.
All right, semifinals. We can stay in the East real quick, then bounce back to West. Bucks and Pacers.
Milwaukee.
Y'all going all the way Milwaukee to the championship?
Yep.
Milwaukee.
Hey, I'm with it. On the West side, who y'all got making it to the championship?
Phoenix.
Same.
Sacramento.
Actually, yes. I do think I have a Milwaukee Phoenix championship in Vegas myself.
And again, Bucks and 1.
The only one. Well, shout out to the NBA for the NBA Cup. I think it's interesting, and I really can't wait to see it unfold more next year or next.
I'm curious to see what they do with the courts in Vegas, and if we get like a different court, if we get a different court for the actual championship game.
I feel like we will, like a neutral court that's just like a.
Yeah, like the was it the quarter? No, we're in the quarterfinals now, so semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
The semifinals have like one court, and then the finals has its own court too. Like that'd be cool. Like since they're trying to make it different, like actually go all out.
Yeah,
I mean it's Vegas, like be ostentatious.
I'll be with it.